family, but she took the river with Judas. Tearing down the barrel of his gun, yes, he shot me down. I died and someone brought me back to life, but never to my senses. Bounce on that shit, can bounce on that shit, can.
Hello, welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, so I decided to do this live about male-centered women. Okay, so I had just ended a live with crime, and we wanted, I asked everybody what they want to do. We decided to discuss male-centered women. All right, so let me give you a little detail before we get into the videos. Now what sparked me to do this was covering the Romika Meets case, and I find it to be very telling that Holly is male-centered. Now I'm not sure. Now I've seen her aunt be male-centered, but I have not, allegedly, from things that I saw. But then when I started covering more cases, I started to find male-centered women, just like Shakana, the one that unalived the girl in Florida, just like the mother we just talked about not too long ago. So it's a little male-centeredness. Even Brene is male-centered. They say a male-centered woman is someone who defines much of her identity, choices, and sense of worth in relation to men and male approval. The orientation can show up in subtle, obvious ways, and it often reflects culture, social, or personal, conditioning. So anything that considers to center around a man, like their career choices, put them on social media, living situations, friendship, all of that is male centered, right? So we're finna get into some videos. Hold on.
So traits of a male-centered woman is so obvious because I've been around a lot of male-centered women. One way I can tell when a woman is male-centered is she's a validation junkie. She only feels enough when a man tells her that she's sexy, she's pretty, wanted. Another way I can tell when a woman is male-centered is she has pick-me energy. She will throw other women under the bus just to look different or better for a man. Always accommodating. Drop her own goals, her dreams, her friends, her family. Hell, some women drop their kids just to keep a man comfortable. She's the type to cancel her plans for his last minute text. Tolerates disrespect. He's lying, he's cheating, he's fucking his homeboy. She stays because all men do that. Or he's just going through something. Bitch, please. One thing I have noticed about male-centered women is that they romanticize struggle love. Ever seen somebody in a terrible fucking relationship and they always say, well, I've been with this person this many years. You've been a dumb bitch for that many years. There's nothing cute about romanticizing struggle love. He beat your ass yesterday and fucked your cousin. You back in his face cuddling up with him today? You bitch are dumb. You think enduring pain with a man equals proof of love. That's how most male-centered women live through the man that they with. His goals, his dreams, his felonies, his court dates, his child support, his social circle, his friend. But she drops all her shit. X equals currency. Most male-centered women believe that her body is the main tool to keep a man. His intimacy is the only way to hold him, even if it empties her emotionally. Let's be real. Most male-centered women are scared of singleness.
I put Olivia in that category. Because because Olivia, if you think about it, she thinks that her body is an interest way for men to keep them around, to have the children. And I said before, Olivia is male-centered by making her womb a continued incubator for men who do not want to be with her. That is her connection to them. Let's look at it. She was with Gerard, right? Left Gerard, Zolo, leaving, being with Zolo, thinking that was going to work. Went to Joey, And then now it's Gamer Bay. So it's kind of like having these children. Yeah, she is very male centered to where she feel like it's a connection. When she had Gerard 3 children, she thought that that was a connection. Let's take Holly, for example. And I know Holly supporters are going to be a little mad, but I'm not lying. Let's be for real. She has 2 children, allegedly, hey, with Carlos. She is the second baby mother. She wanted validation. She wanted Romika's spot. She felt like, and it seems like to us, that she wanted to exchange the position and wanted to be the only woman. So when she tried to get the child away from Romika to mess up her life, she did the same because she felt like that child, let's be clear, is in the middle of all of this. So we can't act like she's not male-centered. Just like we heard, we don't know if it's true, allegedly, when a girl came out and said when she watched how Carlos went to jail, did you think that she called her family to check on her baby or had anything? No. Her whereabouts and her worry were Carlos. Very male-centered. And then as she transitioned on, let's be clear, when she find out and the girls had stood up for her, even though she unalived their sister, she said their life was ruined. Allegedly, it said that she called them ratchet. Her validation is Carlos, nobody else. Just like this young lady said, they put their children to the back. She don't care about them kids. She ain't even taking, allegedly, her prenatals or eating. Male-centered. Her life is about Carlos. It's not about baby Carson or the baby she's carrying. Let's take Brene. She didn't care for Tim. She doesn't. We see that. Tim coming out windmilling. She wanted to have Akira's life. So now her whole, if you pay attention, when she was with Devin, her content was her and Devin. Now she's with Tim. Her content in life is her and Tim. Now she want Akira life and trying to destiny swap. But her whole male existence is Tim. She sits at Tim's job. She goes sit there for 8 hours a day in the car making content. She has nothing going on and eat. She neglects the dog. Guess what? She's helping pay that child support, not Tim. On top of her lawsuit. Very male-centered dominance. And those ladies are one of them. There's a plethora of women. Nicki Minaj, either of y'all want to believe it or not, she's been competing and sitting with the men so long, she trying to make it look like I like arguing with men. She like arguing with men because she gets off on that. She's very male-centered. She's about to lose her house over a man. Her career for a man. Oh, wrong video. Hold on to that YouTube video.
Settle for almost anything just not to be alone. Well, I tell a lot of people when a lot of people say, well, why they won't leave the relationship? Because they're scared to be alone. Most women don't even love themselves, because understand, if they love themselves, they wouldn't be in that fucked up relationship. So when you're a type of person, you cannot sit with yourself, you don't love yourself, of course you don't want to sit in that shit alone. Talk about how male-centered women treat women that don't play that shit. Backhanded shade. If you're not a male-centered woman, they'll call you bitter, a man-hater, or too independent to downplay your power. Oh, because I won't let him beat my ass across the floor, fuck my cousin, call me a stupid bitch, not pay no bills, not have no job. I'm a man-hater. Competitor mode. I don't even understand why y'all be competing. We could never compare. They automatically would start seeing you as competition. They will compare looks, body, money to feel above in a man's eyes. Secure projection. They will feel exposed when they see another woman that's not willing to tolerate that disrespect.
Hello.
If you refusing to deal with that shit, because it highlights her own lack of fucking boundaries.
The male-centered women, which they call pick-me sometimes too as well, they never get chosen because men love a challenge. They love somebody that challenged them, and those are the women that they go after, or the one they get away, or they know they can't. Those men go towards them. They only go towards male-centered women or pick-me to do the things they don't want to do. That's like when I was talking about the situation with Diddy at times, and a lot of people want to feel like, oh yes, Clarissa Shields with Young Miami. Young Miami had a male-centered dominance with Diddy. We're not gonna lie, she did. She wasn't, I don't call her pick me, I say male centered. Because and we look at how things played out, and a lot of people feel like, oh, well, she was never. I don't believe she was. When we look at the pattern, Kim Porter had, Your Miami probably did have some abuse that she don't want to acknowledge, right? She's been an abuse victim more. I mean, before. So let's be clear, Kim Porter, he couldn't do the stuff that he did with Cassie with Kim Porter. He couldn't. We got to be honest. She had a backbone. He still loved Kim though. Even though he had Cassie on her arm, he still loved Kim. Yes, she tried to. Yes, because Nisha is going by her own rules on how it is, and y'all notice Gerard has more respect and love for Nisha in a way than he does for Olivia. He didn't wait 10 years or 8 years to marry Olivia. I mean Nisha. Olivia mad because he kept going. She forced that man to marry her. Nisha didn't have to force. Yep. Didn't have to force. And most of these men still end up trying to go back to those women because they're like, it's not toxic. They bring something to the table. They're not solely focused on them. It's about what they need. A lot of men, they just use and play with the male centered and the pink me's because they feel like, their preference, there's something to get over. But once I'm done playing, I know where it's child, they do that. It's weird.
Instead of reflecting and actually fixing herself, she projects. She thinks she's better than everybody. Yep. No, I mean, we're just not dumb bitches. Secret envy. See, deep down, they admire women that stand firm, but they just scared to admit it. So that admiration that they have for you, that shit starts to turn sour. It reminds her that she don't have no fucking boundaries. Male-centered women often feels uncomfortable around women that refuses to deal with that bullshit. You're not shrinking for men. You're not tolerating disrespect. You're not getting mopped across the floor because it forces her to face her own lack of boundaries. So traits of a male-centered woman is so obvious because I've been around a lot of male-centered women. One way I can tell.
Okay, we're going to listen to one more and then we're going to go to another.
And another example of male-centered women or male-centered mothers is like, and a lot of you are not going to follow me when I say this, but this is just how I'll see it. So like I was having a conversation with my mom the other day. She called me from my granny phone because she's black for mine. So she FaceTimed me from my granny phone. I'm thinking it's my granny, but it's her. And she called me and asked me about school. Mind you, I never told her I was in school, but somehow she knows that I'm in school, whatever. So we talking about that. She just telling me all these things that I need to do and I should do and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, are you going to help me pay for school? She like, no, you got a man in your life, don't you? When I had a man in my life, I didn't ask my mama for nothing. A lie. That's a lie. But it's just like, that's so weird to me. Like, for one, she only was saying that to just see if I'm dealing with somebody or, if I do have a man in my life, because she has no clue what the fuck be going on in my life because we don't have that kind of relationship. She has no clue what the fuck I have going on. But two, what the fuck does that have to do with you helping your child out be successful with their schooling? What does a man being in my life have to do with anything? Like, that has nothing to do with nothing. And I just feel like so many black parents feel like that. And I get it to an extent. Like, if you are going to have a man in your life, of course he needs to be doing something. Like, that's a given. We all fucking know that. Of course, we all fucking know that. But I personally just feel like if I'm not married, then that shouldn't even be a fucking conversation. And even if I am married, like when I have kids and if they get married, of course, the things that I do for them will probably, slim down a little bit because now you're married and your husband is supposed to be the one taking care of you and whatever the case may be. But even then, I'm still going to help my fucking kids. So what the fuck does a man have to do with what you do for your kids? That has nothing to do with nothing. And I just feel like that is another example of male-centered women because it's like you literally, it just makes no sense. And then to like piggyback off of that, it's like I've experienced things within my family. Like I was having a heated conversation with a family member and they tried to say like, oh, you only acting like that, all that energy. Basically, they were saying like me being angry is not directed towards them, I need to direct it towards the man or like that man or whatever the case may be. And mind you, I had just actively stopped dating like around that time, probably like a month or two before that conversation happened. And it's just like, y'all are so male centered that y'all think that everything is about a man. Like, no, bitch, you're literally pissing me off, and my anger is directed towards the right person. But you feel like because when you into it with that man that you fucking with,
Oh Lord.
you take it out on everybody else around you,
You
and you
gotta
can't
tell
fucking
your
breathe,
mama,
and you unhappy
please.
because you and that man into it. You feel like that's me. Or like when I did have a man and I was going through shit with a man, because I've been there. I've definitely been through some shit with a man. And they used to say that shit to me. I used to literally like sit back and think to myself, like, damn, am I like angry and going through shit with this man and just taking it out on them? Or am I literally just reacting to the situation at hand? And for me personally, I've never been into it with my nigga and took it out on somebody else or started shit with other people. Like, what me and that nigga got going on is what me and that nigga got going on. What me and you got going on, bitch, that's what me and you got going on. It's like, it's so weird. And I really used to fall victim to that shit. Like, damn, am I taking this out on them, or am I doing XYZ? And it's like, no, you didn't piss me off, and now we got our own situation. The fuck? And another example
All right, let
of
me
male
play
centered women or male centered.
another one. Let's see.
If we are friends and we get into an argument and you tell me that we don't ever have to be friends again or we don't have to talk anymore, and I've watched you go back and forth and block and unblock and unblock and unblock with different niggas our whole friendship, and you've never done that to them, you don't ever have to worry about being my friend again. You never ever have to worry about talking to me again, because that is male-centered females. If we are friends.
Now we're gonna go to some videos. Now listen, I said it before. There are women who their parents as male centered. Not only that, friends. They it's scary. You know, the man is the thing, and it's kind of like, ooh, okay. I'll be a little scared. Let me play one more on TikTok. Hold on. I want to play why they're dangerous. I think I'm gonna play the one on. Yeah, I have it on YouTube. There, we're gonna listen to women compilations. I think from TikTok. Why they're very dangerous. Like I said, when I first heard about Romika and I was listening about the case and things, and then I started seeing things being said, it was very male centered. The fact that it's scary to me that these women would think it's protecting yourself. You're not protecting yourself, you're protecting this man. And I hate to say it, she is protecting him. Let's think about it. He got into an argument with Romika, not her. Like he said, she inserted herself. She was being male-centered by protecting him for whatever reason. I don't know. She wanted to protect him. And I think she used her child as a defense for it to look like she wasn't protective of him. But he's not protective of her.
I don't know why y'all haven't learned it. Myself, I don't know why I have not learned this by now. Male-centered women will always turn on you. Male-centered women will always end up turning on you, especially if it even remotely pertains to their man. They will always turn on you. Just protect your peace. Let them learn on their own. Be quiet.
Whatever you do, make sure you avoid the girls who are male-centered, okay? And when I mean male-centered, I think you know what I mean by being male-centered. Most of us who have had friends who are male-centered, we know exactly what I'm talking about. The girls who are male-centered are the most dangerous girls you will ever befriend, because their main focus is to get the validation from men. Their main focus is to satisfy a man. I don't mean only by intimacy, I mean by attention, by, having them giving you compliments or whatever. Some girls are very addicted to making sure that they are seen by men. They are appreciated by men. It's like a lust for attention from men. And a lot of these girls are very dangerous for you if you befriend one of these girls, because most of the time they will put you in dangerous situations where you might not even realize. Okay? What people do not get when it comes to these male-centered women, most of the time, when they have girlfriends, they just see it as a distraction, until they find another target who will validate their attention, and then they just get rid of you and leave you in the bush. This is why a lot of girls as well, as soon as they get a boyfriend or get a man, they would just leave you behind, because now it's like, okay, you're not that good enough. And that's also something that I feel like a lot of women need to start realizing, that some women in this life, they really, it's different when it comes to being male-centered, and it's different for someone who wants to get married and have children and be happy, blah blah blah, because people have different priorities in life. But the girls who are male-centered are the ones who are very toxic, because why the hell do you not love yourself enough to know that you don't need any type of validation from a man? And I don't think people understand, like, if you want to be loved a certain way, you actually need to love yourself first in a certain way to be able to attract the good energies and the type of love you feel like you deserve to have. I remember once I was at a party, and this was back in the days. This was this girl, I don't fuck with her at all, like, she's such a bitch and cunt. But she wanted to pick me out to a guy. Like, you see, like, the desperation of getting the validation from a man. She was like, oh, Sinas, yeah, that guy likes you. He's in there. He wants to go to the bedroom. Like, bitch, like, why the fuck are you doing his job? Like, if you really want something from me, if he's a man, he can come up to me, But no, instead he went to you because he knew that you liked him, that you want his attention, that you're insecure. And that's why he's telling you to do something for me. And that boosted your confidence because you feel special because a man asked you to do something for him. Like, what an embarrassment. I don't fuck with that. No.
I'm at that age where I cannot be friends with a girl that is literally male-centered. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be in a relationship or anything like that. But if you're willing to put down your friend for a sense of approval, or even ditch your girl to go be with a guy, or fight with girls over a guy, or willing to be a side chick, and just like say F you to your own personal values and morals and integrity, we cannot be friends. Now, I do have empathy for these women because I sit there and think, like, damn, what were they missing in their lives to be in this position where it's like they're always fighting for male approval? Like, that part of me like feels bad, but I also have that boundary where I'm like, I have empathy for you, but I still can't fuck with you. But I hope you grow and become a better person and eventually learn.
Sometimes women have childhood traumas, especially if they grew up without a father figure in their lives. They then try to fill that void by centering men to win their approval and affection.
Please listen when I tell you a male-centered woman will never be your true friend. And this is why I can't stand those conversations when people are like, oh, I'm almost this age, time to get married, time to have kids. Oh, I'm doing nothing else in my life, time to jump in a relationship I'm not happy with. Stop. Okay, I know y'all hate to have these conversations because you think everybody is just a bitter, miserable hag who's single and doesn't have anybody, but it's not even about that. It's about your dignity, because what are you doing? Having people on rosters that you don't even like just for the sake of having a roster? What? I say these women will never be your friends because they only get their validation from men showing them any semblance of attention. That means when you go out, it's going to be a subtle competition of who can get the most stares, who can get the most looks. Ooh, I wonder what men are out tonight. Ooh, da, 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 da. Like, it's always going to be about a man. These people have no substance outside of that. And I'm sorry, I don't actually believe that. I feel like they have so much more they can dig down deep into and like learn about themselves, but they present themselves and they behave as if the only thing they have to look forward to is a man texting them something. You will probably be the last option when it comes to hanging out. They will probably only hang out with you when their little date with their mediocre man fell through. They'll hang out with you when it's time to talk about all of the fuck shit that's going on in their relationship, because, they have to dump on their friends and not the person they're sharing bodily fluids with, because no, that's too much. No, that's what their friends are for. 9 times out of 10, they're talking shit behind their friends' backs. Because remember, kids, if somebody can talk shit to you, they are certainly talking shit about you. And you know what? A lot of us, when we were younger, we had a lot of friends. Maybe we were a little male identified ourselves because we haven't taken the time to unpack that internalized misogyny that we have going on. Some of these people never do that work. Some of these people don't have the self-awareness to be like, oh, wait a minute, I care a little bit too much about what these men think about me. And when I was younger, maybe I would let that slide. You could talk about the same old ain't shit man 50 times in a row, because you know what? I was probably doing the same thing too, because I didn't have the wherewithal. I didn't have this thing turned on, my frontal lobe. So that's fine. My late 20s, no, I don't have any patience, and you can call me mean, you can call me strict. I don't care. I'm strict when it comes to the people I date. I'm strict when it comes to the people I hang out with, because you're not about to talk my ear off about the same shit over and over and over again.
Being male-centered is so cutesy as a teenager. Oh, I'm boy crazy. Once you turn 21, baby, just go ahead and let it go. Because the male-centered women are the women with 10 kids and 16 babies.
I'm sorry. Now I don't know about no 10 kids. I can't say that about the 10 kids. Now, the 10 kids, but I can definitely say if they got 10 kids, ain't no TVs or something going on, huh? They just love it. Now, not all women with 10 kids are male centered, but you want me to tell you who is male centered, who they gonna hate me for this and that, and folks love her so damn much. That lady with 9 kids. Oh, she's married, still married, but she's very male centered. Nobody listen to what come out of her mouth, and I feel like most of her people that support her are two things. They're not with the man that they had all them kids with, or they wish that they were still, but what they don't understand is he's not working or providing. She is killing herself, literally, to get on social media. I promise you she is, and doing all that stuff. He don't do half of that. He is a living sitter. He might as well be a nanny, and she is literally killing herself. Peach McIntyre is killing herself. E. Kane, male-centered, whooped her cat open. Oh, we're going to talk about that video. I meant to show it for Lit last Saturday. We're going to talk about it because I want to leave her 2025. Whooped her cat open trying to antagonize Chris' friend. Chris jacked her up on camera and pushed out the room, spreading it open like an eagle, talking about she wasn't showing him that in short shorts. Y'all, some of these people that y'all look up to, because y'all, please lead them in 2025, including Krishan. It don't make no sense. It just don't. Like, I don't understand. This woman is literally killing herself on social media, Peach, and doing all this crazy rhetoric to make sure him and the kid, like, you know, Jay-Z and Beyonce say, shout out to Beyonce for being a billionaire. What's better than 1 billionaire? 2. I'd rather it be 2. Who? You sit down, I sit down when I feel like, you sit down when you feel like it. 2. That way, come on now.
Daddies. They're not able to get anywhere in life because when other people are worried about their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, school, etc., their degree, all you're worried about is Charlie and who he was with last night. Being male-centered as an adult will turn you into a loser with nothing to show for your life. This might sound mean. I might be harsh. You're not being a girl's girl. Certain messages don't need to be delivered warm and fluffy. It really don't. Like, you being male-centered at 21, you're a loser. You don't have nothing to show for yourself. No goals, no dreams, no ambitions. Just want to be on the side of.
I want to say something else with the girls. You can't be a girls with everybody. You can't. And this is why women say girls, or are kind of out the door. Not everybody deserves to be in a girl's girl, because y'all got to start separating, like, who can be girls and separating from who can't. If they male-centered, they will never be a girl's girl. So you can't incorporate defending for them, caping for them, when they're really caping for a nigga. Like, they're caping for a man. They're caping for a man. They're not making sure their priorities. They're caping for a man. And I hate hearing, oh, why should I have this? He'll take care of it. Girl, if you don't get your own, whether he take care of it or not, you still make sure you have your own. Because one thing about it, he can sit here and leave you anytime, or anything could happen where he can't take care of it. Health is a big thing right now. He might not be able to. And then at some point, you got to have that person to step in and say, I'm going to have to. Because let me tell you something. Y'all depending on them to do that, and they can walk away and leave you in debt. Or something can happen where you got to have to take care of him. So you need to make sure your ducks is in order, just in case. Anything could happen. He might have to sit down for a couple of months with a bad knee and get knee surgery and you gotta help take care of him for that. Yeah, money might be a little low because you were dependent on that. As long as you got that, listen, I got it. It happens.
But man, like a PS5 controller on the man's lap. Wake up, sister. Your life is passing you by. And y'all know me, y'all know I love my man. But my goals, my dreams, my ambitions, my career always come before a relationship. A man could wake up and walk out of your life today. Your degree will have your name on it forever. The accomplishments that you're able to get under your belt will be there forever. Your accomplishments are lifelong. A relationship might not be.
Women who are extremely male-centered will never truly be your friend. I've literally had girls, when I'm trying to make plans with them, they will wait until the last possible second to confirm because they're waiting to see if a guy they just met will text them back. And this guy is not like their soulmate or something. They will do this for literally any guy because their self-worth revolves around what guys think of them. They will be jealous of you and they'll treat everything like a competition for the male gaze. I've known women who are absolutely beautiful. They should have no reason to feel like I'm their competition, but they will still find ways to put you down and embarrass you because
like Princess. Y'all remember how she used to weaponize women, how she did Amada instead of going to AJ about it, how she did her and tried to drag her and stuff? Princess was very male-centered with Ray, and she had to learn the hard way. And now Princess is learning that, because I feel like when Princess started to get into Princess, when Princess started to do like the poker games and all that stuff and figure out who she was without Ray J, and even if she was with him, she was focusing on something she wanted to do and all of that. I feel like Ray J felt some type of way because Princess couldn't do that male-centered. She started becoming less male-centered because remember he was like, I don't know, she never home, she always doing this, or she started putting Princess first. Princess is acting, Princess is doing it. She's doing it, right? So Ray J felt like he was losing after she weaponized Amada and all that. So she started to realize he was losing that woman that was caping for him, fought for him, threw women under the bus and all of that. That's why he acted in the way and trying to find another one. And that's why Princess is going through what she's going through, because Princess has come to realization, this isn't it. I can leave that for somebody else. That's why Ray J going outside now.
Because they crave male attention that badly. But the number one reason I can't be friends with girls that are extremely male-centered is because you just can't have a good night out with them without involving men in some way. And like that can definitely be fun, but some days you just want to have a girls' night. But girls that are male-centered will be like, oh, let's go over to that guy's table. Let's go back to this guy's place. And it's like, no, we don't need to involve random men to have fun. Also, it's extremely dangerous to be going off of random guys you don't know. If you try to get me to leave a public place to go over to some random man's apartment, I'm sorry, I'm out. We literally don't know who these guys are. Why are we putting ourselves in a dangerous situation just for some attention? Like, are we really that desperate? I've joked about this before. Like, your conversations with your friends need to be able to pass the Bechdel test, but it's literally true. If every conversation you're having is revolving around some guy or like how to get male attention, then that girl is too male-centered and she's never going to be a good friend to you. Also, speaking from experience, if this girl does get a boyfriend, it's going to be the end of your friendship. And I know people are going to say, obviously I'm going to hang out with my boyfriend more than my friends. Like, I love him. And I'm not saying you can't hang out with your boyfriend all the time. Obviously, if you like them a lot, you should hang out with them. But there's a difference between hanging out with your boyfriend and completely ditching your friends because you got a boyfriend. I found that girls that do this, they'll still keep you in arm's reach so that they can still talk to you when they're having drama with their boyfriend. So they'll basically use you as a therapist when they need it. But
yo, that is so true. So the one friend I called yesterday, she has a boyfriend. I talk to her all the time. We talk to each other every day, all day. My friend that got married, we talk to each other every day, all day, right? Even though she hang with her husband, she still hang with her friends, right? But there is one I don't talk to every day. And when she started having one of them is married too. She started having a problem in her marriage with her husband. She would call me out the blue. When it's bad, she call and say this and that. When it's good, I don't hear much. Like now, I ain't heard from her 3-4 days because it's good. But my other friends, the other one that is freshly married, the other one that has a boyfriend, I hear from them every day. If it's not a phone call, it's a text. And they even come and watch. I had one of them on here that was on here when I was talking about Ramika 2-3 weeks ago that's married. I hear from her every day, even a text message. We talk. Call, pick up. My homegirl, call, pick up. I have a best friend that she working 2 jobs. She does the nightlife and work. We might not talk every day, but when we get in conversation, it's hours and hours of conversation when she can. That is so true. Me and my sister was talking about it. My sister was like, she feel that way. With one of her friends where she only call when something go wrong, but when it's good, they don't hear from them. They don't call you. They don't talk to you, and you kind of like, well, damn, okay. But when they go through it, I got a vent. Let me tell you something. 2026, all that venting about men, all that venting about I got this going on, you just call me to vent, or just I'm leaving it there. If you don't hear from me and you ain't heard from me, I'm not answering. I'm protecting my peace. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm tired. I'm getting into my villain era to where you could call me to vent, but you haven't asked me how my day was, didn't ask me what happened. You damn sure ain't asked me what I got to talk about. As long as you can talk about what you is bothering, I'm leaving that in 2025. That's it. I can't do no more. I got to protect my peace. I got things I got to worry about and focus on. Things I'm in the era now. I want to do what is best for me and what I want to do and go into where I want to go at. I don't want nobody to stop me this time. I don't want no interruptions. This gotta work. I don't need no errors. Where I'm going is I'm going into a new chapter of certain things. Things gotta go. I can't do it. Being mute is not gonna work. I worked out a bit my being mute era to protect feelings. I'm just getting into the era of I'm not doing it. I'm not. I can't do it. That's just where I'm at. And that's how it's going to be, because I have given myself so much. As y'all know, I'm a Libra. We're givers, and we give so much till people take and take and take. And then when they take, we don't have nothing. I'm going to save what I have left.
When things are going good, it's radio silence. I had to cut a girl off as a friend because I felt so used by her. When we were friends, it didn't matter if we made plans like 2.5 weeks in advance. If her boyfriend texted her like 10 minutes before we were supposed to hang out, she would just cancel the plans immediately. But if her and her boyfriend were having problems, I was the first person that she would call. But that girl clearly did not view me as a friend. She viewed me as a therapist for her. And yes, you can totally be there for your friends. But when your friend's whole life revolves around a man and you're just there to give her validation when things aren't going well, then there's no actual friendship there.
Male-centered women are so dangerous. They center all men, including yours. There is no loyalty to a woman who centers men, who just is so obsessed with the attention of men. There is no loyalty there, because if she wants your man's attention, she's going to try to get it. And no, it may not be blatantly obvious. She's not, all in your face, all over your man, but pay attention. Women that are male-centered do little things to try to get your man's attention, and then will make you feel crazy if you bring it up, because now it's looking like you're insecure. Like if she wear a certain top around your man, like she...
That sound like Renee. Remember, Akira say she wore them short shorts, moving her butt. That's Renee.
You know she's going to be around your man. Why would you wear a revealing top? It's not about insecurity. It's about respect. Or if y'all in a group setting and a woman tries to bring something embarrassing up about you or downplay something you do, but boost herself up, That's another way that a woman will try to get the attention of a man. Women like that have no loyalty. They don't care about it being your man, their sister man. As long as it's a man and they getting a validation from him, they want to feel chosen. They want to feel like they won. Sometimes they don't even really want the man. They just want to feel like I could take him if I wanted to. And that's the dangerous part.
Child. Destroy friendships of a man to prove a point that they can have the guy take him from you, which makes him to yes. Yes.
Now, I feel like in talking about, I don't know how to explain this really well, but I guess centering men or decentering men, I feel like one thing that kind of ties it all together is that you never really fully develop, because speaking kind of about emotional maturity, but also general maturity, when you are constantly seeking attention from men, you tend to dumb yourself down almost to be approachable, or you're acting kind of obnoxious like a child would act, because again, you're seeking that attention from them, whether that be like in a social setting, from your ex online, whatever the case may be. I think it's really, it becomes really unfortunate at some point. And I also think in terms of developing your personal style, I feel like that's another area that can really go underdeveloped if you're constantly seeking attention from men, because you're going to be dressing in a way that is looking for their validation instead of trying to develop like what's comfortable for you or your own personal style. Obviously, I'm not saying don't date men or don't care about love or anything like that. I would never say that because it's not realistic. But I think the point is that I think when you're younger, you know, you're more likely to be male-centered. But as you get older, it's really important to start to recognize these behaviors so that they don't stick with you forever. Because I think when you start to hit your late 20s and you're still behaving like this,
I'm doing good. How
very dangerous.
I don't think we really talk about the tragedy that is male-centered women. I don't really think we talk about it because, like, if you really think about it, like, yeah, they're fucking horrible, sometimes very nasty people with very nasty intentions, and the only reason why they have female friendships is to get closer to men, and it's scary and it's real. What we really don't talk about is how how depleting it is. Like it really is like such a tragic thing to put yourself through. You know what I mean? Like to degrade yourself to a state of just nothingness for the attention of a man. Because let's be honest, if a male-centered woman finds a man, that man does not love her. I hope male-centered women see this video, because that man doesn't love you. He loves what you do for him. That's what he loves. Because you ask him, what's my favorite color? I don't know, pink. You want that kind of love, don't you? And then here's the thing, like, they're gonna see this video and they're gonna feel something within their soul. You know what I mean? It's gonna puncture something that they thought was very closed off and they thought that they healed a long time ago. But in reality, you know that it's true. You know that you have degraded yourself and condensed yourself to something so malleable. You know what I mean? You have been.
A lot of male-centered women commit crimes. We're going to get into a video of that soon. I'm going to fast forward this video a little bit. They commit crimes. They commit crimes for the man if they feel like a woman is in the way. Also, they protect pedophiles. As I said, the pink wig lady, they very protective of pedophiles, PDFs. You should never award that. Maybe he wouldn't have did those. Oh yeah. Well, maybe if you put some clothes on, he wouldn't look at you like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's still gonna be here. You don't like it, you can leave. Yeah. You saying he say something offensive or abusive and you don't like it, or it's when you sit here, remember on Madea family reunion, right? And on the episode, Linwood, she ain't never played broke. She might play evil rich or good rich for sure. Her character. When she said, when her daughter sat there and told her, oh, he hits me. And knowing that she wanted financial and wanted her daughter in a financial light, she did check him, but she didn't check him enough. But y'all remember in that movie, she was flirting with the fiance who was a banker, remember? And he worked for finances doing something major in the bank. And y'all remember that scene when she sat at the table and say, he hits me. And she say, well, what did you do to make him mad? Well, maybe if you stop doing to make him this male-centered. And then when she went and told him to keep his hands to himself, she was flirting all on him, knowing that he was finna marry her daughter. That's male-centered. That was the first time I think Tyler Perry might be a lot of things, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all gotta pay attention because he has been saying about male-centered women in his movies a very long time. You might not like it because y'all feel like he played, but no, he's been showing y'all what male-centered is, how people act when people abuse, how they try to cover it up. He's been showing y'all the trauma for a long time. And now they're saying, oh, he's been showing y'all this. What we're talking about today, he's been showing it. Like I say, he could be a lot of things, but that man been since the early 2000s been saying, hey, it's some male-centered women. You can't allow he even said it. Remember, you can't have every friend around your man that's male-centered. She gonna pick your man. She gonna feel like she the better choice of your man for your man. If she hear one thing if she that friend that hear one thing and you know you can't trust her, you know something up, you know how she rock, and you still got her around your man, she ain't the friend that's gonna stand up for you. Tell heck no, you gotta leave. She not that friend, but she that friend that be girl. He just doing a girl, it ain't like that. That's that friend. And then with them tight clothes and you kind of looking like, what you doing? That's that friend that they warn you about. That pick me friend. Oh, he ain't like that, but I know he ain't like that because he treat me a little better. That's been going on for baby. Been telling it. Let me fast forward a little. So we can go into the crime part.
Only want you in your life or give you the time of day when they're not in relationships, which is also very telling. And I laugh at you because that's the life that you are choosing to live. That is your fault.
And don't forget, we're going to go about how men are women-centered. It's very they're dangerous as well.
That point. And if you just listen to women telling you to decenter men, right? That doesn't mean you don't date them or don't, talk to them. Like, it just means you don't make it your entire personality or your entire goal in life. Being in a relationship, having a marriage, having children, right? Being a lived-in housewife. That's what that means. You don't make it the point of every conversation. If you just listen to the women telling you to do those things and to heal yourself, your life and your dating life would be a lot better. But you want to sit there and say, pick me over and over again. And y'all say, oh, you call everyone a pick me. I call pick-me's. You act like one. That's your label. You don't want that label. Stop acting like one. Pretty fucking simple.
Male-centered women are not your friends. They will never be your friends. You can never.
Shout out to her. I love her. Y'all gotta go screenshot her. Mookie, shout out to Mookie. I love Mookie. Mookie does content on it with moms who are male-centered, also protecting SA people in the family. Like, she does all that stuff. She does a lot of stuff that make you go, wow. Like, she shows it, even the good stuff. And having that protective family member and all that stuff. Y'all go follow Mookie. Mookie, I ain't gonna lie, Mookie been doing her thing.
Trust them. You can never depend on them. Nothing, because you know what they're going to do. They're going to put you under the bus for a man. You will literally could possibly get pew-pewed or because of a male-centered woman, because they will put a man above anything. They will literally set you up I knew a story from a girl in high school who got set up by one of her friends and at a party because this guy told her to. Because that guy was giving her attention. Ma'am, did you not know what he asked you to do? Because he wanted the other girl. He didn't want you. You were just a pawn in his scheme. But a lot of male-centered women, they grow up with mothers who were also male-centered women, and they attracted to that. And I always tell people, if you see a woman that's male-centered, do not deem her as a friend. Because every time a man comes around, she will do whatever it takes to get that man's attention. And it might cost you your life. So please be careful, okay? But then they always try to say you're jealous. Oh, you're jealous because he's giving me attention. No, he's not giving you attention. He's just playing you, okay?
Male-centered women are those who place men's opinions, needs, and validation above their own self-worth, dreams, and boundaries. While it may seem like an act of love or compromise, this dynamic is dangerous, not just for the woman, but for the relationship and her personal growth. When a woman loses sight of her own identity and happiness to prioritize a man's approval, she risks emotional depletion, resentment, and unbalanced power dynamics. True strength lies in women who center themselves first, who lead with self-respect, clear boundaries, and unapologetic authenticity. These women are powerful, magnetic, and unshakable because their sense of self doesn't depend on male approval, and that independence challenges outdated systems and creates healthier, more equal partnerships.
Creator. What is her name? Lord have mercy. The High Value Path. Shout out to her for that video. She gave an example. Now we gonna get into how these male-centered women create some crime, and then I'll probably do a part 2. We'll get into how they parent. We'll get into friendships. And then we're going to do one part. We're going to do another part with a 2-part as well with men that center women. These are not the men that have the great values for women. These are the ones that we pay attention to, that if they leave, it get dangerous. Yeah, those men. Okay, let me share this content.
This is the first time I've ever actually reviewed a crime story or a court case on here. Now, plenty of people have been talking about this case because it's been insane. And I do follow a lot of crime documentaries and stories myself, but I just really wanted to add my 2 cents onto this one because I'm a little bit baffled behind this story. Like, cause what? Now, Miss Sakina Thompson is from New York. Sakina is dibble-dabbling with a man, having fun with this guy. But this guy is also having fun with other women. Sakina finds out. But one of those women being Kayla. Now, Sakina.
I'm sorry, I had to pause. What I'm gonna elaborate what I'm saying by that. Not the men that prioritize women in good standards of what they need, but we're gonna talk about the toxic masculinity and harm that some of these men have, that they have created crimes to men as well, or also to women, because they feel like nobody can get that woman. We're gonna do those type of men. Okay.
Takes it upon herself to write Kayla in her inbox on the internet, on social media. I believe it was Instagram. Kayla's like, girl, I don't know you. Block. This riles Sakina up so much that she's like, oh, we need to have a conversation. And so she's like, let me book a flight to see you face to face. Now, I don't know what you need to speak to somebody about face to face if they've already blocked you online. That is your answer right there, girl. Like, why did you feel the need to do that? Neither here nor there, though, but this chick done books a flight from New York to Florida to go have a woman-to-woman conversation with Kayla. Gets to Florida, gets to this girl's apartment complex, 4 o'clock in the morning, to talk to her about her man. Obviously, the conversation goes left very fast, rightfully so, because why are you in my house, ma'am, trying to talk to me about a nakaka? Huh? At 4 o'clock in the morning. Conversation goes left. They get into an altercation and then get into a fight inside Kayla's apartment. Unfortunately, Sakina does unalive this poor girl. She claims that it was self-defense and that Kayla attacked her first. She claims that Kayla took a hookah thing, a hookah bottle, whatever, and hit her with it and cut her stomach. She claims she blacks out and wakes up to Miss Kayla being gone. She cleans up a little bit of the crime scene, puts on Kayla's clothes, and then leaves and goes on back home to New York.
Y'all, I gotta share something with y'all after this video. Listen to this. 62-year-old man arrested in Tennessee after marrying a 16-year-old girl in Alabama with her parents' permission. I'm gonna play this before we finish.
Arrested and charged with aggravated statutory rape involving a 16-year-old girl. Andy Cordan has been investigating. He joins us now with the details. Andy.
Hey there, ladies. According to investigators, Michael Holly married the 16-year-old in Alabama with her parents' permission. Now, that might be legal in the Yellow Hammer State.
We're going to talk about how they're already starting for these 16-year-olds to marry these grown men. I'll do the live tomorrow. We're going to put some lives on hold tomorrow. Stacey going to have to wait. I'm going to do that live tomorrow. Yeah, because I know we doing live tonight. They're already starting to make sure these young girls are being married. Yes, 16-year-old girl got permission from her parents to marry a 62-year-old man in Alabama.
Parents' permission. Now,
they were already trying to push this. Yes, you heard what I said.
Disturbing story out of
Yes, she is 16. This was carried out before they moved to Tennessee. It is said authorities say the investigation remains active and no additional details about the minor are being released due to her age. We're going to discuss it tomorrow. I'm going to make a thumbnail today. We're going to discuss it first thing in the morning. This is crazy bananas. We're going back in time. I don't like it.
Arresting her about 3 weeks later in New York and shipping her right back down to Florida. And so, yeah, this is her defense. It's self-defense, according to her. Now, I don't see how you could believe this is self-defense when you shouldn't even flew down there, girl. Huh? You had every opportunity to calm yourself down. When she blocked you, you had an opportunity to calm down. When you decided to catch a flight and was looking up flights, you had an opportunity to calm down. When you bought the flight, you had an opportunity to calm down. When you packed your bags, got to the airport, went through TSA,
right?
Got on that airplane and sat down, landed in Florida, caught an Uber to her apartment. There was so many opportunities for her not to do what she did and be free right now. And so I'm baffled for real, because who goes through that much? This is what you call a male-centered woman, a woman so enthralled by a man that she has put claim on a man that ain't trying to be claimed. And y'all, I would love to show y'all what the man looked like, but I ain't even gonna do that because it's really not his fault. He just did what typical men do. But to even go through the lengths that you did over that is crazy to me. And you know what? I'm so baffled. And you know what pisses me off the most about this is not only have you ruined your life behind a man and ruined this poor girl's family's lives behind a man, now there's a child involved. Sakina was 2 months pregnant at the time. So you flew to Florida pregnant and attacked this girl. You've had a baby in prison and you're never going to see that child again. And you know what's crazy? that same man that she was fighting behind is apparently engaged to somebody else. So now your child is going to be raised by a whole different woman and the man you were fighting over. And you are going to be in prison for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Was it worth it, boo? Was it really worth it? Now, this is the first time I've ever.
I remember hearing this and I was just like, what? Let me see if I can find one more before we go. Even the men are coming out here saying how dangerous they is. This is crazy. I want to find one more. Hold on, y'all. Yep, they talked about it. Okay. I'm finna play this last one. Yeah. And then we gonna get up on out of here.
Thought she was bigger than the program. She thought she could sit up here and unalive that woman for no reason and thought she could get off with self-defense. Look at God. Just because justice don't come on that day doesn't mean it's not going to happen. She should be a prime example. Stop crashing out over these men. He need to be locked up too. Why you got her in the headlock? Like, you so soulless. Men can be so soulless. Like, you done had a whole kid with this woman and you just don't care.
I think it was
right in the face.
No, hold on.
There is nothing a man could ever say to me to convince me to go to jail for him. Nothing. But these male-centered women be so desperate and thirsty for male validation and attention, they will literally do a crime for a man who barely wants to hold the door for them. Be safe out here. There is nothing a man could ever say to me.
She did. And that she did.
Right in her face.
Hold on.
Baby,
This was male-centered behavior when I saw this. We are a family. We gonna be dressed like on holidays. What family don't? That's very male-centered, baby. Now, if I post our Thanksgiving and Christmas pictures, they're so cute. Y'all gonna be blowing fire out y'all know. That's very male-centered behavior. A lot of the women, when they heard about her, called her a pick-me and male-centered. It tends to happen when that is the case. I'm gonna say this. I said this before, and we're gonna close it out. Like, Brene, we're gonna start with her, and then we're gonna go to Brene. When I read the auntie saying about bags and purses from a man, and I ain't gonna lie, I went down the rabbit hole of the auntie relationship and how her man is telling her allegedly is common law. They can be commonly law married instead of married, and she's still sitting here windmilling for the baby daddy that got her in there. That's male-centered and pick-me to me. Hello? Excuse me? Brene mother is male-centered because the way she centers Tim, like he's the end-all be-all. Oh, let me show you. Let me show you. We're going to do that before we leave out of here too. She's male-centered. She has Brene believing that when we go to male-centered mothers, we're going to talk about Brene's mother and how most women use Christianity. They do, Nicki Minaj, or they would use they like to play with the religion as a male-centered thing. And also, and most women in the church, they'll tell you, no, baby, it's both. Baby, I'm out here to take care of me, but I gotta have something of my own over here. Okay. They tell you, listen, I love my husband, I love my man, but if something happened, I want to make sure at least I'm still, me and my kids are still good, regardless of what that may be. And that is true facts. But the male centering starts with that. It also starts with, we're going to talk about Brene mom, how she tried to put God in the center of making sure her children are married and all this and that. It's a lot that play in it because they're both male-centered females. They are. And and how Akira tried to do it the right way, and it, you know, it's okay. But we're going to do a part 2 Thursday. Tomorrow, I will be talking about the 62-year-old who wanted to married a 16-year-old and how they're trying to push that now. Yes. And we're going to go over, oh, yes, especially very male-centered. We're going to get into the 16-year-old having permission to marry the 62-year-old and who's all involved with the crime. And then we're going to get into how they're trying to normalize it with certain things. And like I told y'all before, we're going to go over 2025 project is already complete. They're still pushing that in 2026. We're going to go over that again and how that plays into it. Like I told y'all before, pay attention. Okay? Look how they do in the Department of Education. Just pay attention. Okay? Permission. They're using these kids in the key factors. I was having a conversation on Threads about, they were like, oh, they pushing LGBTQ. I say, no, it's not that. They're not pushing that on y'all kids. You want me to tell you what they're pushing it on? You want me to tell you what they're pushing? Your children glorifying marriage and no education or have nothing for themselves, just to run off, get married and have babies. That's what they're really pushing. That's the pushing goal. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. I can still do Stacey tomorrow. Yeah, we're going to do Love and Marriage Huntsville and look at Stacey video, child. We got to talk about, so I'm supposed to do 2. I just had to remember, it's okay. And then we're going to do Live. December 31st, it's a watch party. We finna watch some good videos, honey. And we also going to have a conversation. And baby, we're going to play some music, okay? I might not get monetized for the music, but we gonna play some music. And then Thursday, we'll do a part 2 of male-centered women, how it plays in friendships and being a parent. And then we're gonna do the toxic masculinity. We can start that Thursday as well and jump into it Friday. We got a lot of content. I'm still waiting on some things with Romika. I think I was supposed to talk more about that today, but I'm gonna continue to do my research about that because I do want to talk about the pastor that was unalived as well. So we're going to figure out how we're going to do this. I want to thank you guys for watching. I will be back live 4:30. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I will be back with finishing up Jazzy and Olivia relationship, honey, this afternoon. Y'all get ready, child. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
It's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally.
Birds singing in the dead of night.